Hi, welcome back. In this class, we'll start with Python objects. In Python, everything is an object. Numbers are objects, strings are objects, booleans are objects, and even functions are considered as objects. Objects are like containers of data in any programming language. Sometimes we also refer them as variables because we can modify the data values. Objects are of two types, single value objects and the other one multi-value objects. Objects that hold a single value like numbers, strings, booleans, these are all single value objects. Objects that hold multiple values are also called containers. In Python, tuples, lists, sets, dictionaries are containers. In Python, every object will have a name, type and ID. Type is just a data type of the object. ID is a numerical number given by the Python interpreter at the time of creating the object. So, every object will have three properties: name, type and ID. Let us see how we can name the objects. There are some rules we have to follow in naming the objects. There are two rules in naming Python objects. Object names must have only alphanumeric and underscore characters. The second rule is object names must not start with a digit. What are alphanumeric characters? They are upper letters A to Z and smaller letters A to Z and the digits 0 to 9, and these are the alphanumeric characters. Plus we can have an underscore. So only these characters we must use in naming the objects. The second thing is the names must not start with a digit. Let us see a few examples. Let us say let us create a object by name num. Say num equal to 100, and I will execute this one. So there is no problem. I created a object by name num equal to 100. Similarly, you can say num underscore all equal to 1000. That's also no problem because we are using only alpha characters and underscore. And also we can say sum 10 equal to 10. That is no problem. But we cannot say 10 sum equal to, let us say 10. We get a syntax error because it's starting with a digit. We can use underscore. We can say underscore 10 sum, that is fine, but not a 10 sum. And also we cannot use any other character other than this alphanumeric and underscore. If you say some $, and if you say $100, then then you will get a syntax error. Just to recap, you can use only alphanumeric characters and underscore in naming the objects, and also the second rule is the name must not start with a digit. Next, every object will have a type and an ID. Python assigns a data type and a numerical ID whenever it creates an object. These two are fixed. They will never change during the life of the object. Python gives us two functions, type and ID. Using these functions, we can now find the type of the object and ID of the object of any object. Let us see a few examples. We have an object called num. It has a value of 100. Let us see what is the type on this. Let us say type of num, and also let us see what is the ID of this, ID of num. So the type is integer, is an integer class, and the num is some numerical number. Actually it is the memory address where this object is stored. Similarly, let us see one example with a string. Let us say n1 equal to John. We created an object with the name n1 and with the value John. Let us see what is the type of n1 and what is the ID of n1. The type is string, is a string class, and the ID some numerical number. Suppose if you have two objects with the same value, let us say we create another n2 with the same name John. If we see the type of n2 and ID of n2, you see it will have the same ID because the value is same. This n1 and n2 are like more like a pointers, more like a references to this object John. So they will have, so that's why they will have the same ID n1 and n2. Whenever the value is same, it will have the same ID. Let us see with one example with an integer. Let us say x equal to 100 and y equal to 100, and let us see what is the ID of x and ID of y. It will be the same. So see ending with 664, exactly the same ID because the values are same. And so that's all about using type and ID functions in Python. Using this function we can find the type and ID of any object in Python. Let us recap. In Python everything is an object. Numbers are objects, strings are objects, booleans, and even functions are considered as objects. Objects are like containers of data in any programming language. Objects are of two types. Some hold a single value and some hold a multiple values. Objects that hold multiple values are also called containers. In Python, lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets are containers. Every object will have a name, type, and ID. Three properties: name, type, and ID. And there are some rules in naming the objects. The object name must have only alphanumeric and underscore characters. That is the first rule. The second rule is the object name must not start with a digit. Those are the two rules. Then next, Python has given us two functions, type and ID. Using these functions, we can find the type of an object and the ID of an object, of any object. Finally, last thing is we learned is when the objects are having the same value, they will have the same ID. We saw those by using some examples. And we'll stop here and we'll meet in the next class. Okay, thank you very much.